Hi guys. Welcome guys. Hi, how are you? Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me and if you can see me. I can't see any of you just yet. Okay, people joining in. Thank you. Welcome guys. Welcome to whoever is joining. For those of you who are new and who are watching me for the first time, I'm Dr. Priya. I'm a holistic life coach. I'm an author and I'm also a healer. Happy full moon guys today. And the subject that I have chosen today, like I mentioned in the last slide, that the theme is relationships this whole month. So I wanted to speak about conscious relationships. It's a new subject for people who are unconscious and are not aware of it. But I want you to get aware and I want you to understand what are conscious relationships and how can you be in one conscious relationship yourself. So yeah, I'm gonna thank you whoever is joining in. Okay, so what I want to say is, guys, we are approaching a period in time where relationships per se are going through a major redesign, right? The old paradigm is not working out for people. People are not satisfied in their relationships and they don't even know how to make their relationships work. Which actually, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because until and unless systems break down, they don't usually change. So what I feel is that this change, what's happening in our intimate partnerships, I would like to call them, not relationships. Relationships is outdated. It's honestly it's doesn't really apply anymore, this term. So mainly partnerships. Why this is happening and the change that's happening is it's actually forcing us, this breakdown in our relationships is actually forcing us to move towards a conscious love, more conscious love, right? So when we speak about the term conscious relationships, so what exactly is a conscious relationship? A conscious relationship is where both the partners are consciously aware, they're consciously committed to growth and expansion, right? And what they're committed to mainly is both the partners are committed to a sense of purpose, and that purpose is actually growth, individual growth, collective growth as couples, and growth that actually helps the world become a better place. And I will speak about this, explain to you how we can make world a better place by having our relationships, well, being a conscious partner. I will tell you what happens and how it kind of works out. So what happens is, in our current relationships, let's look at our current relationships. Most of the people in our current relationships, what we do is we get into a relationship to feel good. We get into a relationship to satisfy our personal needs, right? This might work for some time, but it doesn't really last long. And you might have known about the honeymoon period getting over, fading away, the spark's not there, so on and so forth. So it doesn't really last that long. And invariably, dissatisfaction kind of sets in, and that relationship kind of fails us and we end up unsatisfied. Whereas in a conscious relationship, when both the partners are conscious and aware and they are getting into a relationship committed to growth and expansion, the result there is more expansion than gratification, right? And those individuals, conscious couples, they understand that they have a huge amount of opportunity of growth and expansion in this relationship, which they might not have been able to do it if they were by themselves, right? So that relationship offers them a lot of opportunities to grow and expand in the manner that they never would have thought ever would have happened. And the result is actually long-term fulfillment and also deep satisfaction. So that's the difference between the relationship paradigm which we have now on the planet and what we are moving towards, current relationship and conscious relationship. So if you want to take your relationship, your love, your romantic relationship to the next level, I'm going to be talking about a few qualities what conscious couples have in them and what a conscious relationship actually looks like. So if you want to, just pay attention, and you can take notes if you want to understand the thing better. And guys, let me tell you, This is next level love that we're talking about. Okay? Sorry, just getting comfy. So, number one quality or number one attribute of a conscious relationship is not being attached to the outcome. Conscious couples are not really attached to the outcome of how the relationship will be or should be, right? Or what will happen to the relationship, right? Growth is the main priority in conscious relationship. So by that, what I mean is, it doesn't really mean that you don't care about the relationship. It doesn't really mean that you don't care what happens to the relationship. It actually means is that you're more committed to the experience or the growth this relationship will provide, then your focus is on growth and expansion than on making this relationship work, right? Which we do in our current relationship paradigm. So what we need to understand is, reality is that we're here for growth, to grow spiritually, physically, emotionally, and mentally. And when growth is stifled or growth stops, we don't feel good, right? We feel that something is happened or something wrong's happened, and actually it has happened because you're not carrying out your soul's purpose, right? So unfortunately, today's relationships, what they actually do is they stifle our growth. They don't enhance growth, right? We tend to mold and change ourselves to please others, right? We want our partners to behave in a certain way so that they can make us happy, right? We're very powerless in our relationships. So we want them to be a certain way. We want, we're dependent. It's codependent relationship. It's not a connection. So when the current relationships are not offering you an opportunity to grow, you're not carrying out your soul's purpose, and it stifles you as a soul. And what happens is, this is the main reason why romantic love is failing us and why we are unsatisfied or dissatisfied, right? So why we are dissatisfied. And what we also tend to do is we become people pleasers. We portray ourselves in a certain way because we don't want our partners to stop loving us, right? We will be suppressing our feelings, we'll be oppressing ourselves, we're feeling small, and then we are feeling confused as to what has happened and who have I become? What was I before this relationship, and what have I become in this relationship? And that stifles us. And guys, that makes relationship feels like a cage from where you want to break out, run away, and end it. It doesn't feel good. But unfortunately, the truth is that we have caged ourselves because of the choices that we have made to be a certain way or not be authentic, right? So we have caged ourselves in those kind of relationships. And that's why we are looking for the next best thing and looking for the next high and looking for something interesting, and we get bored and we get dissatisfied from our partners and in our relationships. And that's why these relationships are failing us. So number one is basically these relationships are committed to growth, not to gratification. These partners are not here. These partners understand that we're not here to please each other. We're not here to kind of, validate each other. They're two souls on their journey, right? Learning their lessons, growing simultaneously, of course, supporting each other's growth, right? But it's a connection. It's not an attachment. It doesn't suck the energy out of you. It kind of fuels you, energizes you. When both the partners are conscious. Very, very, very important, right? That's number one point. Number two is, each person in this relationship is committed to taking responsibility for their own shit. Pardon my language. However, taking responsibility for their own behaviors, own triggers, and so on and so forth. What that means is that these partners are aware. These partners understand that in the relationship, they are going to be inevitably triggered, right, by their partner. So they expect to feel abandoned. They expect to feel unloved, overlooked, betrayed, rejected. And they understand that it's coming from a place of their own wounding. They understand that it's coming from their past. They understand that we carry these wounds into our relationships, and this is what kind of triggers us, and our partners are reflecting back to us. So when those triggers actually happen, these partners are aware. So instead of blaming each other or deflecting or bypassing it and putting the blame on their partner, what they're doing is they're taking responsibility, what baggage they have carried individually into the relationship, and they are ready and committed to look into themselves, that what is it that I'm projecting and what is it that I am being triggered by. So complete ownership of your own, I would say, baggage. Complete awareness that how our past wounds actually shape our relationships, our behaviors, and our patterns. So conscious couples understand that, and that's how it becomes very easy to maneuver the triggers and whatever kind of surfaces up. Whatever is surfacing up, it's not your partner's fault. Whatever is surfacing up, it's coming from your faulty programming, your faulty belief systems, your patterns, your behaviors. So it's not your partner's job to fix that for you or to behave in a certain manner where you feel safe, secure, and loved. It is your own responsibility to look within you and understand, what am I projecting right now, or what am I feeling, and where is it coming from? Basically, to do your own inner work and your own shadow work, in a nutshell. Right? Because what happens is, guys, most of us believe that a relationship should be this good, ideal relationship. It should be a feel-good relationship. And when that feel-good factor or feel-good feeling wears off, we start feeling dissatisfied, and we feel, oh God, there's something wrong with this relationship, and we move on to the next partner, and we carry on the same patterns and the same cycles with the new partner. Because you understand, everything is in a circle. Whatever you have not healed in a particular relationship, it's going to show up in the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And then people say, oh, why do I attract partners who abuse me? Why do I attract partners who are absent emotionally? Or they betray me, or they cheat on me, or they abandon me? Because you have not worked on yourself, and you have not worked on your wounds. So every partner that you're attracting from that wounding place, and that partner is literally mirroring you what you need to heal inside of you. Right? So we have this idea of perfect relationships, soulmates, and twin flames, and believe you me, I'm in a twin flame relationship myself, and I swear to God, I promise you, it hasn't been pretty. So there is no perfect relationship, guys. Relationships are actually there for us to grow. Relationships are there to make us have those feelings, make us have those triggers, make us look into within ourselves for our own growth, for going and coming face to face with those shadow selves of those wounded parts of us. So our partner is going to not love us the way we want them to love. They are going to show us exactly what we're feeling about ourselves inside, in our subconscious mind. So no relationship is perfect. There is no perfect relationship on the face of this planet, and we need to let go of the idea that how a relationship should be, how a partner should behave, how they should be providing for us and making us feel good about ourselves and validating us, and so on and so forth. That's old paradigm. That doesn't really work anymore. That's why people are divorcing left, right, and center, walking out on relationships, and moving from one partner to another, because they really don't know how to make these relationships work. And that's why the idea of conscious relationship, whereas the conscious couples, they understand this. And when they work and they take responsibility for their own baggage, it's very, it flows. You're not blaming, you're supporting each other, even though both of you are triggering each other. So that's number two. Number two, Number three is very, very important, and I actually wanted to do a live on this. That's why I was looking at it, that I could have done a separate live on this. I speak about it a lot, this point. I practice it to the core, and I strongly believe in this. And this, number three, is authenticity. In a conscious relationship, all feelings are welcome. Yeah? None of the feelings are judged. None of the feelings are condemned. You are free to feel what you're feeling. You're free to say what you're feeling. You're free to be yourself. Express yourself without fearing being rejected or being judged by your partner. So when you're honest and authentic and open and transparent, and you're holding that same space or allowing your partner to be open, honest, and transparent, you both can literally hold space for each other. You both can actually be who you genuinely are. You don't have to put on those masks. You don't have to cater to each other's happiness. You don't have to feel responsible. You don't have to constrict yourself or worry or fear rejection or fear judgment or fear what will my partner think of me. You need to be ready to go into those vulnerable spaces, the parts that you have not shared with anybody, the parts which you are ashamed of, the parts which are scary and unknown. So being completely authentic, honest, and transparent is number 3 attribute of or quality of a conscious couple or conscious relationship, right? And I'll tell you something, it's not easy. It's rare, to be honest. We hide parts of ourselves even from ourselves. We are ashamed of those parts. We feel people are going to take advantage of us. We feel we are going to be judged, or if they find out this about me, they might leave me, they might reject me, or how will I be perceived? So it's very rare that people are actually very, very authentic. And I see this a lot in my clients where they're conscious, partly, but they're not so radically honest with their partners. They're hiding even this concept that they're conscious now. They're even hiding the parts of them that are conscious now, thinking that what will their partner think about them, that wow, this person has become this spiritual self, and what is she trying to do, or what is he trying to do? So they will keep that in a closet and be their 3D self in front of their partners. And then there is an imbalance, and then, they are not being what they actually feel like being, but they're being what their partner wants them to be. And that's a total misalignment, guys. It's never going to work. And then they're dissatisfied, and then they have a part of themselves in the closet or to themselves, and there's a part which does not come out in front of their partners, right? So there's a split there, fragmentation. So in a conscious relationship, you need to be authentic. And I'll tell you guys, authentic to the point. Remember one thing, your partner is going to be triggering you. It doesn't matter what your partner says when your partner is being honest and transparent and having an honest conversation with you. So conscious couples don't mind being triggered because they understand where that is coming from. It's not their partner that's making them feel bad or is rude or harsh or whatever they're feeling. It's not their partner, it's their own triggers. So conscious couples understand that, and they're willing to get triggered even if that means that their partner is being authentic. So they will allow that space for their partner, never mind what's coming out in the conversation. They take full responsibility for that trigger. They don't blame their partner too, or what did you say to me, and why were you so rude, and why were you so nasty, and why were you so whatever, right? So authenticity is one thing, and like I've already said, we keep molding and we keep changing ourselves to please others. We keep shrinking ourselves and constricting ourselves in our relationship, and we're not being ourselves. We're not being authentic. When we're not being ourselves, we're not being authentic. We're not doing the things that we want to do, worrying what our partner will think or how I should be in a relationship. How marriages should look like, what our society has taught us. It just kind of suppresses the soul and the individual. And you can carry on that facade only for a little time. That's why you see after 3 months or 6 months into the honeymoon period, or maybe a year or two, your real self starts to show. Then they say people change after marriage, or their real colors are out. Actually, those real colors were always there inside. They were just scared to show you those real colors because what people feel that we have to please or we have to be a certain way to be in this marriage or relationship, because we don't want our partners to stop loving us, right? So we will carry on putting on these facades. We'll carry on being somebody else in front of our partner and pretending to be a certain way, which is not true to ourselves, which is not being in alignment with ourselves. And that's why we suffer and we stress, and then we kind of, we are running to the hills, we're running out of the door, we're running for the next relationship, we're running for that next high feeling. But that high feeling is not there It's not there in the next relationship or the next potential partner. So that's what you need to understand, guys. Authenticity is the number one, I would say, and when you're authentic, what also actually happens, I'll tell you what happens with authenticity is, what I want to say is about intimacy. So intimacy is one thing which you will experience when you are authentic. Intimacy, if you break it down, it is into-me-see, right? So when you're being, let's say, genuine, honest about your feelings, you're expressing exactly how you feel, you'll feel heard in your relationships. You'll actually feel seen for the first time. You'll feel understood. And your partner will love you and accept you for who you are, the real you. Not the person who's put on these masks, and not the person who's being a certain way because you want to hold on to that person and you want that person to so desperately love you. You're genuinely being seen and heard and understood when you're totally transparent, and that is one way that you can be conscious in your relationship. Now, number 4 is relationship. What these conscious couples understand is that relationships are a practice of love, right? And what they strive to be is to embody that love in this partnership or in this relationship. Okay, so what happens is, love is something which most humans don't really understand. Unconditional love, right? To me, love is taking another person as a part of you, right? Love is being present. Love is forgiveness. Love is being on the same page, being attuned to your partner. Love is putting yourself in their shoes. Love is compassion. Love is empathy. So love is being present even at that time when the relationship doesn't look that pretty, right? So for conscious couple, what they embody or what they strive to be is their foundation, or their goal is actually to embody this love and practice this love. Why? Love is a practice. Your relationship has to be nurtured daily. Your love has to be practiced in relationships daily. It's not a one-time thing that you wine and dine someone, or you take a vacation, or you do things that couples do now normally, right? Still, it doesn't really last. You go on that vacation, you're still fighting over there, arguing over there, and then you come back and you're still having arguments or don't disagree on so many things. So it's not that kind of thing. It's a daily practice. It's practice in small things that you're doing together. It's practice when both of you are triggered. It's practice in when one of you doesn't feel good, right? So what these conscious couples do in that type of scenario is they understand that love is something which is a constant practice. They understand that love is being present with all those aspects of relationship, nuances of relationship, if you want to call them, which are not very pretty, right? Like which I explained, that if you're struggling and if you're triggered, if you're unwell, if you're not feeling up to it, what does your partner do at that point in time? Run to the hills? Or run out of the door? No. So a conscious partner will be present, will accept that aspect of their partner, right? And if they are being triggered, they will help them to grow. Of course, the work is your own. You work on yourself so that you work on yourself so that you can be a better version of you. I work on myself so that I can be the best version of me. And then both of us grow together, right? But conscious couples support each other. Even to the point of you're even allowed to be your inner child for, let's say, 20 minutes a day. You can be open and authentic that, hey, I need this attention, or I need love, or I need you to listen to me, my ideas, or I need to go out and play, I need to shut off. So it's basically accepting, it's basically loving. And when those times happen, let's say your partner is really pushing your buttons, the partner is really triggered, okay? So at that time, as a conscious couple, what you can ask is, how can I act out of love here? What can love do over here? And then your actions are actually based on love. Foundation of a conscious relationship is love, guys. And not the kind of love that we have been experiencing up till now. I'm talking about love from a space where it's authenticity. Love where I take you if you're my partner, as a part of me. So when I'm doing something for you, I'm doing for myself, right? I am not resenting you or hating you or doing it to please you. I'm doing it for you in any which ways. If you want to understand higher level of spirituality, there are no others. If I love you, I'm loving myself. If I'm doing something for you, I'm doing it for myself, right? So conscious couples are very, very aware, very, very elevated, even though they go through the journey together. It's not that, you reach that space and then you get into the relationship. It's the act of growing together, growing through those triggers, growing through those fights, those arguments. And I am the live witness of it. And I promise you guys, I'm not going to lie to you. If I was not aware and conscious, my relationship would not have lasted more than 30 seconds. And my previous marriage, of course, I went into with a heavy baggage, heavy childhood baggage. For those of you who've read my book, you understand and you know the story. And I'll tell you something, growth doesn't happen when we kind of shrink ourselves or we close ourselves to the world. I did not see anybody for 12 years. I was so nervous, I didn't trust anyone, I didn't want to get into relationships. And I was very, very conscious at that point in time when I attracted my twin flame. I was practicing high level of self-love. I was doing so well in my life, I still am, but I was very peaceful. But I was also very stagnated. And I understood that if I attract a relationship, or if the relationship comes, it's going to open the Pandora's box and it's going to start the whole drama and whatever which I'm avoiding. So I chose the relationship which presented itself for me as an opportunity for growth. I could have stayed single. I could have just preached about all of this to you guys, but I have actually experienced this. I am still experiencing. You see, we're all in this together. We're in progress. So I have had my triggers, I have had my past wounds like literally dug up. I have had every single thing which I was avoiding here in my face. And I had to be brave. I had to be brave to face every single shadow. However, I was aware and I was conscious. I knew what was being projected. I knew what was being mirrored to me. So I constantly went within, I worked on myself, and I also held my relationship. Yes, there were times. There were times which was not very pretty times. There were times where I was so heavily triggered and I could not pull myself out of it. However, it's work, guys, right? So and mind you, another thing what I want to point out is, it's not that it's your responsibility to do all the work. Conscious relationship is about both the people conscious. You could be conscious and on a path and on a journey, and your partner is on his own journey, right? So you are aware that anything which is being triggered or said, or you're feeling hurt or bad about, you're looking into yourself and doing the inner work. However, your partner is like, oh, you had a bad past and bad childhood, you've got all this stuff which you need to work on, I'm kind of okay. That's not gonna work. That will work to a point where you will get so conscious and so healed that either if that partner doesn't match up to your frequency, that partner will actually be ejected out of your orbit because you're not a frequency match. So conscious couples actually work together. They work on themselves together. They own up to their crap. They take responsibility. They do not blame each other. Oh, you made me do this, or you said this, or you... No. They take their power back. They're not codependent. And this is how they form connection, guys. Right? Other kind of love, we are attached in our relationships, which is sucking the energy and the life out of us. Connection will actually feed you. Connection will actually make you feel so safe and secure in your relationships because, mind you, you've already done the work. You've already done the work around your safety issues, around your security issues, around your abandonment issues. So it doesn't really matter where your partner is, which part of the globe. If you're connected to your partner, you're okay. You're okay with the solitude, you're okay with the independence, you're fine. However, being together, embodying that love, and the experiences that come with that is something that conscious couples never even imagine that they can have those experiences. So when you're experiencing a trigger, it's giving you a huge opportunity to grow. And you will not experience that if you're alone. Or if you will overlook that and blame your partner, and then that's satisfied in your relationship, you will move on to another relationship, and everybody is showing you the same thing, and you're like, oh my god, I don't know what the hell is wrong with all the guys in the world. Why do I have to get these guys who continuously do this to me? No. You are doing this to yourself. You have caged yourself with your beliefs, with your patterns, with your wounds. So to become a conscious couple, these are the things that you need to keep in mind. Not get attached to the outcome. Focus on the growth. How are you growing through those triggers? You're shifting your frequency from that wounded part to one notch higher and one notch higher. You are coming into a space of self-love, self-accountability, right? Huge expansion. So relationships are actually our mirrors. Relationships are actually what we are inside our subconscious mind. They're going to show us that. And if we understand what our relationships are in truest form, I think it can be brilliant. And what I was talking about is how growth actually helps world become a better place. So we understand this is for conscious community, also for unconscious community. We understand our inner world reflects our outer world. So if each person on the planet works on their shadow self, works on their wounds, your outer world is going to change. And bit by bit, slowly, if everybody takes responsibility of cleaning up their garbage and cleaning up their house, what do you think the world is going to look outside if it's a reflection, which it is, of our inside reality? So that's how you can contribute, and you know that people are awakening, and you know that consciousness is rising, people are becoming more and more conscious. And definitely that's why conscious relationships are the next level love, guys. It's next level romantic love, because old systems are not going to work anymore. And I see so many couples creating so much of struggle for themselves. They're breaking up, they're abusing each other, they are miserable. So understand what relationships are and move towards being a conscious partner. And once you do the work, guys, you will actually attract somebody who is going to be showing you what you worked on, who's going to be showing you your self-love, your self-respect, who's going to be showing you the healed aspect of you. And then when both of you are growing together, healing together, you see, you can work actually for the greater good of humanity. That's what twin flames are all about, actually. They're committed to a purpose. They're not committed to validating each other, gratifying each other, giving each other gifts and this and whatever. That also can happen. There's nothing wrong in that. But from a conscious place, not from a dependency that, oh, you didn't do this for me, that means you don't love me. Right? Or you said so and so or such and such thing, or you abandoned me, that means you don't love me and I need to end the relationship and I need to go and find somebody who actually loves me for how I need to be loved. Whereas that partner is actually showing you how you need to love yourself. And that's the topic or the subject that I'm going to be talking about in the next live, which I will probably do in November, about inner child work and conscious relationships, or inner child work, how it applies to our relationships, what we're actually supposed to do and what we are actually doing. Right? So that's about conscious relationships, guys. So, don't use love. Okay, I've covered up all the points. Guys, I make small notes, or rather bullet points, where at least I want to kind of cover everything. So I pretty much covered all the points. And what I want to remind you guys is, don't look at love as this, what we want love to be, right? This high feeling, like it's a drug. You're supposed to feel good all the time. And when the discomfort or something unpleasant surfaces, you are basically running away, right? You're running away onto the next drug, which makes you feel good. So it's not about feel good, guys. It's all about growth. It's not about how your partner is going to make you feel. It's about how you're going to grow and expand. And that's what conscious relationships are all about. And that's why the old paradigm and old stuff is not going to cut out for us anymore. We're going to be miserable. We're going to be attracting the same stuff. We're going to be attracting the wound mates, right, who we are attracting from our wounds, our own childhood wounds. So if we really look inside of us and take notice of those wounds and heal them, make that commitment to ourselves, we're going to be attracting better partners. And it'll make you a conscious partner when you take full responsibility for what you are bringing to the relationship. And nothing is judged in a conscious relationship. Nothing is condemned. You're free to be who you are. Come as you are. Show yourself as you are. Don't have to pretend, don't have to put on those masks. So love is not a drug, guys. Relationships are not there to make you feel good. Relationships are not there to give you safety and security and money and houses and cars. Relationships are there to make you do the hard work, which you're avoiding, right? And running from one partner to another, hoping that the next one is your answer. Relationships are there like your mirror. Do your work so that your relationship can reflect that self-love back to you. So I want you to check your own relationships in your life. I want you to see where you're asleep, where you're unconscious, where you are codependent and attached, where you're expecting from your partner to be a certain way for him to satisfy you or for you to feel good. There's a lot of stuff that will come up. And start working on that stuff and understand all that is coming from your past wounds. Conscious couples understand this. Your need for somebody else to be a certain way or to act a certain way is actually coming from, and I'll tell you guys, girls, we are looking for fathers. We are looking for absent fathers in our relationships. And for guys, maybe we are looking somebody to mother us, to take care of us, to understand us, or we are running away from our overprotective, over-obsessive mothers. So we have manifested our fathers and our mothers in our relationships, right? And it is not our current partner's problem that they have to give us all that or correct that parenting which has gone wrong. It's not their responsibility. It's your responsibility. So own up to that shit, work on yourself, and you will be a much happier person. You will be a much more balanced person. You'll be a much more independent and a happy person in any relationship. If you start using your partner as a mirror. And if you carry on being codependent and carrying on wanting those things from your partner which you didn't get as a child, from your parents, you're in for a lot of trouble. It ain't coming. Nothing is coming from your partner. Well, if you're conscious and you're doing the work together, right? Like I said, you can take turns and you can take time out 20 minutes a day to be your inner child. And both the partners can actually support each other. But if you're looking for what you didn't get in your childhood, and you're like, oh, now I should have a home, I should be comfortable, I should be secure and safe and taken care of. It's not happening. You need to basically take care of yourself. You need to love yourself. And I will talk about this in the next live, guys. Whoever, all of you who are interested in having a conscious relationship, watch out for that video about inner child work and your relationships now. So that is, I will tell you how you can kind of heal that stuff and how you can move on to being a conscious partner. To stop blaming your partners for everything that's wrong in your life, for all your dissatisfactions, for all your miseries. Look into yourself, sit with yourself, look into your past. Where are these wounds coming from? And how you can heal these wounds one by one. And it takes a lot of courage, guys. I am a live example of it right in front of you. I'm still work in progress. You know, I get triggered just like you guys. I still have to do my inner work even though I'm coaching people all over the world. But hey, you know, I'm hurting and I'm healing and I'm happy and I'm everything together. And then it's totally okay. So I have my triggers and I have my meltdowns and you know, blaming my partner. But I'm so aware that I kind of pull myself back and I know exactly where it's coming from. And then I will take some time out and say, hey, you've triggered me and I need to work on this and I need to work on this. Well, with my kind of abusive childhood, there is a myriad of stuff which I need to work on, but I'm not giving up just yet. I'm still working and I will continue to work on myself because it gives the power back in my hands. I'm not dependent on somebody else to make my life feel better. I'm not dependent on somebody else to make me feel a certain way. Then I will forever be a slave and I will be in a cage of a relationship. I want to be free. And that's how you can be free in your relationships, guys. That's how we can be free in our relationships. Two happy people, right? On their journey, healing themselves, will have a happy happily ever after. Two miserable people, two wound mates, blaming each other at each other's throats. You didn't do this, you did this, you should have done this, you are the husband, you should be providing this for me, you should be doing that for me. Your journey is unhappy. What do you think your destination? And most people look at love as a destination. No, guys, it's a journey. It's a journey of exploration, exploring each other, exploring your own self, going deep within your own self. It's not a destination, it's not a peak. You're not reaching there and feeling good. You reach there, I promise you there'll be another trigger which will, like, you're just taken aback. Oh my God, I thought everything is fine in my life. Now what? So, I hope this makes sense, and I hope this is informative, and I hope that you guys can look into your relationships from a newer perspective and move towards the next level of your romantic love. Rather, move to the next level, take your romantic relationship to the next level, which is conscious love, where it's only growth and it's only expansion, and it feels good. It's deep fulfillment, guys. It's completely satisfying. There might be times where you'll be crying, where your inner child will be sad and whatever, but at that time, if your partner is conscious, he or she will be supporting you. But authenticity is the main thing. You have to be open. Some people I see, they don't communicate. They will hold everything inside, and then bang, there will be an earthquake. That's not conscious. Even if you're scared to show your parts, which are like, you're ashamed of, even if you don't want to show that part to your partner, you don't want to face it yourself, right? You were shamed about that part when you were a child. I'm saying, just lay your cards on the table, bare yourself naked, be so vulnerable. That is how you will heal, and that is how your partner will see you for who you genuinely are. And when that partner will see you for who you genuinely are, that partner will accept you for who you are. And that is true connection, guys. That is true love. So I hope I've made some sense, and I hope that this has helped you. And those of you who are in conscious relationships already, I salute you guys. Hats off. Really, I really commend you. I'm rooting for you. It takes a lot of strength, guys. I know I'm doing this work myself, and I know what it takes to be always aware and conscious of what's basically being projected in your marriage or in your relationship. And those of you who are still creating suffering for themselves, and who are looking externally, or who are looking outside of themselves for that gratification, for that validation, for that their needs being met, right? That love which doesn't really come, or they're satisfying themselves with their shopping, with their friends, with their retreats, with their vacations. It's not going to come from there. The work lies inside. Conscious relationships is serious work, committed. And these guys, conscious couples, are very devoted. Their goal is actually to embody love in anything they do. They will support each other. Their platform, their foundation is they will approach each other from a perspective of love, no matter how much they are being triggered and their buttons are being pushed. Once you do the self-work, it's not hard for you to approach your partner or look at any situation from a place of love, compassion, empathy, and understanding. And I know it doesn't make sense to people. There's so many people who ask me, oh, how can you let him get away with this? Oh, why isn't he doing this, when he's supposed to be doing this as a husband? But when you're conscious, you understand why he's not doing this, and why is he triggering me? Because that's my inner work. So instead of looking there, you turn inwards and say, why is he being this way? What is it in me that is being projected out, and what is my learning here for my own self? What can I heal from this situation? What have I manifested out there which is showing me what I need to learn or heal and move up the next level? So that's all from me, guys. I hope I've not taken too much of your time, but this topic is very, very close to my heart. I teach this to people, conscious relationships, conscious parenting. So it's all about being conscious now, guys. If you're conscious and if you're awake, you need to level up. How you parent your kids, how you're looking at your relationships, everything in your life has to be from a space of conscious and aware. So look after yourself, guys, and I love you so much. I get so passionate about this subject. that I can go on and I can go on for hours, because you know what, it's my you can say dream. I want to plant the seed into every heart. I want to plant the seed in every soul which is already there, but I want to take them to the journey. I want to be a way sure that you don't have to create this suffering in your relationships. You don't have to beat each other up or get divorced or get separated and create another drama somewhere else and another drama somewhere else. Just stand, stay, be present with whatever is surfacing in your life and look inwards at what's happening, what am I doing, and how can I change this for the better. And this is what my purpose is. And I promise you guys, inner work, shadow work, it's your relationships are really like, you know, the meat of your expansion. It's the meat where you can grow, where you will be pushed, your buttons will be pushed, you'll get pissed off, you'll get angry, everything will happen, but it provides such an opportunity to expand. It's unbelievable. And that's a secret covenant, by the way, of relationships. They're meant to be your mirrors. They're not meant to be your fathers and your mothers. You have to be your father and your mother now to yourself. And I will talk about that in the next live. So be sure to tune in and move towards conscious love, guys, you know. And I love you so much. And leave any comments, and if anything that you want me to answer, I will surely answer those questions in the comments, post the live. 1 second, I can't even. Facing our, hi Jay, hi everyone who has signed in. 1 second. Facing our own shadows create freedom to love and be loved. Yes, absolutely, Jay. I totally agree with you. Thank you so much for that comment. Yes, because when we are not sitting and blaming our partners, and we're not bickering and fighting and creating suffering, we're looking inwards that what is it that made me angry and what is it that triggered inside me. You do the inner work, then it leaves the space for you to enjoy each other's company, to help each other grow, to not look at your partner from a perspective of a provider or who makes me feel good or who needs to do this for me. You're looking at another soul, and it's just about company, companionship, growth together. So any experience becomes an experience of love, because you're not coming from your shadow self. Your filters, your reactions, your actions, your words are not coming from your wounded psyche, because you're healing yourself. So it's pure love that comes out, and you will be compassionate, you will be empathizing, you will be not holding any resentments against your partner. You're not coming from a place of fear, you're not coming from a place of insecurity, you're not coming from a place of, oh my God, what if he does this, he's going to, I'm going to be in trouble, or what if she does this, I'm going to be left in a lurch, or you know, I'm not secure, what if he leaves me, what if she leaves me. No, all that is taken care of in and of inside of you. Right? And like Jay's saying here, a very good friend of mine, Jay, I love you so much, thank you so much. You are an inspiration to so many, and to me as well. Yes, holding oneself accountable for our own feelings and behaviors, open space, yes, absolutely. And that's when the trust and the mutual understanding comes, guys. When we look at our relationship as mirrors, it doesn't, if we don't trust ourselves, if we are not respecting ourselves, we are constricting ourselves, right? We are abandoning ourselves, we are treating ourselves or settling in, right? Lagging behind in self-love, it's going to be reflected in our relationship. So when we are healing all of those things, it opens up the whole space for us to be who we are, these expanded beings, right? It gives us the space to basically embody that love, and the love that I spoke about, where you take another as a part of you. You do not create that separation, because remember, separation is the illusion which creates most suffering on this planet. We're not separate from each other. We're all different perspectives of one source, even your relationships. So once you approach this, your friendships, your any relationship where you're struggling or suffering, or where you have kind of, you know, created or manifested something, look at it from a higher perspective. Look at it, what is it trying to teach you? Where does your work lie in all of this? Take responsibility. Responsibility not in the sense of being grown up and being responsible. No, responsibility is ability to respond. How are you responding in that situation? Are you attacking? Are you going crazy? Are you blaming? Or or are you reacting from a wounded space, or are you responding? Once you become conscious, you start responding. You don't react anymore because you're healing those wounds. So that's it from me, guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you soon with the next live on relationships, and hopefully this month. Okay, so enjoy your full moon, do your full moon meditations, bring out your crystals for the moon bath, and look after yourself, guys. Really look after yourself. I love you all.